Hi, how are you guys? I'm going to start Recitation 12, and before this recitation, I have heard that some of the students cannot get access to the Excel software. They can only get access to the OneDrive version of Excel software using the software portal provided by Rutgers University. And before this recitation, I will teach you how to install the Excel software on your laptop. You need to just search Office for Students and get into and click the first link, free Microsoft Office 364 for schools and students. And then you need to enter your school email address, which is at rutgers.edu. And once you enter this school email address, you will get a license for the student version of Office softwares, including Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, something like that. Okay, so this is how you can get access to Excel softwares. Because that if you cannot install the Excel software on your laptop, you cannot use some functions like three-dimensional sheets or charts, and you cannot edit the formatting or style for cells and something like this. Which means that you cannot complete the assignments as our requirements. Okay. So let's come into the recitation 12. During this recitation, I'd like to talk about some large data sets used in our spreadsheets. The first job is as usual. We provide you an example spreadsheets for everyone to edit on this. And you can download this file within the files folder of Canvas. It's within recitation information by sections under section 6 and 33. And you need to download example3.xlsx. Okay. Once you have downloaded example 3 spreadsheets and opened it, it will show you three spreadsheets, which are sales transaction 1 and transaction 2. We will do something based on these three data sets. Okay. So our first job is about pivot tables. The pivot tables is used for presenting data in a structured manner, and we can also collapse or expand the information by level. So I will teach you how to make up your first pivot tables based on the data sets. So first you need to click sales. We need to just get into this spreadsheet and click anywhere within this data area, and then you can just click insert table on the top of this spreadsheet. Click insert, and then we can see a choice which is called pivot table. The introduction is that easily arrange and summarize complex data in the pivot table, and you can just click this, and do not change the do not change the settings, default settings for creating pivot table. Just click OK. Okay, so this is our first pivot table, and right here, on the right side of the pivot table screen, this pivot table provides a field list to add to report. So first we need to just click country. Click this one, and it will provide row labels. And we have two countries in the dataset, which are UK and USA. And secondly, we can just click order date to add this row table. And next, we can check salesperson. After this, we check order amount. Okay, so right now we have created our first pivot tables, and add and we choose 4 fields to add to our pivot tables to report. Our next job is to group the dates. The data on the left side may look disorganized. The dates may need to be grouped to make sense of the data selected. Okay, so we just click any date within the pivot tables. Uh, like this, we just click on 2010. Okay, so in the fields list, we can see that we first we have years and also we have some other choices. So what we need to do is we need to click the Analyze tab for pivot table tools right here, the Analyze tab, and we can see a function which is called group selection, which is used for creating a group containing the selected items. So we just click on group selection, and within the settings we need to select years and months. Okay, and also you can just try quarters, days, hours, some settings for yourself. But within these pivot tables, we just choose months and years. We just click OK. Okay, after the dates are now grouped, the data selected looks well organized. Something like this. We have about we have three charts for years 2010, 11, and 12, and also we have 12 months for each year, and the dates are well organized. Okay, and the next task is to collapse and expand data. For example, sometimes we don't want to get the details for each month and for each salesperson. We just want to hide this area, so we can just click this button, which is called collapse field. Okay, so we can make this bunch of data inactive, and also we can use this small green cross button, which is called expand field. If we click this, we will activate the data within 2010. Okay, so this is the function for collapse fields button and expand fields button. Okay, after we create the first pivot table, we would like to do the second task to create another pivot table based on a new worksheet, which is transaction 1 worksheet. And the work is also the same. We just click any data cell within this data set. We click insert and click pivot table, click OK. We create a new pivot table, and we need to select the fields. First is category name, and next check product name, check ship country, and check ship city, and at last check the quantity. Okay, so we have built up the second pivot table. Sometimes rather than having a collapsible pivot table, we also wish to have a more traditional pivot table. So the second job is to modify a pivot table. What we want to do is just change the structure of the dataset for presenting. What we want to do is on the lower portion of the right side of the screen, and we would like to drag the ship country entry to the column labels. what we want to do is like this. We just find the ship country entry, this one, and we want to drag this to the columns right here. So right now the pivot table is immediately updated to show the information organized by category versus ship country. Okay, so right now the pivot table shows detailed information for different products and cities. Some entries of data cell will be blank because there is no sales data for those products and cities. And also we can also use this collapse field function to collapse the information again, just like this. So we have made up a new structure to present our dataset, which is category versus ship country. Okay, so the next job, what we want to do is just add a filter to the pivot table. We would like to filter certain information based on the shipper of our products. So what we want to do is we find the shipper name entry, this one, and drag this entry to filters. So right now it's very clear that we see within the cell A1 and B1 we have a filter for the shipper name. So we can just click select multiple items and we just select we just click federal shipping to select the shipper. Okay, so right now we have the updated pivot table showing all products that were carried by federal shipping. Okay, so this is the tasks for our second pivot tables. And next, I'd like to ask all of you to do a student task, which is to create a new pivot table based on transaction 1 worksheet that has countries and cities as row labels, shippers as column labels, employees as filters, quantities as values. So you need to just drag different entries to these 4 fields: filters, columns, labels, row labels, and values. It's very easy. You can just do this very quickly. Let me just present the task once again. A new pivot table that has countries and cities as row labels, shippers as column labels, employees as filters, quantities as values. Okay. This is the first part of our Recitation 12, which is about pivot tables, and the second part is about Excel tables. So what we want to do is just creating an Excel table for our dataset. Let me introduce how to create an Excel table. We also need to click on the Insert tab. And right here, we have a new choice, a button for table. The introduction is create a table to organize and analyze related data. Tables make it easy to sort, filter, and format data within a sheet. Okay, so we just click this table icon. So where is the data for your table? I think the area is right, from A1 to L2156. Okay, so we have selected all the data sets to create an Excel table like this. Right now, we can see that all the columns headings will have now an arrow that provides filtering and sorting capabilities. We can just click this. It's very clear that we can sort A to D or sort D to A. We can also sort by color We can also use filters by color or filters like this. We can select different items as filters. Okay, so what we want to do next is to add a new column to an Excel table. We can easily add a new column based on a formula, which is very easy. Right here at the right side of order date, we can just use a formula to create a new column. We can just press an equal sign and then press tab. Okay, so we have created a new column of an Excel table. So now what we want to do is, because we have already had a unit price and discount data, so we want to use these two data columns to compute the net price and present the data within the column M. Okay. So first we need to change the name for the column heading, which is net price, right? And on the first empty cell, which is second arrow below net price, we need to type the following formula, which is equal, and we need to choose the column label, which is, I believe, unit price, right? Sorry, we can just insert by ourselves. And we need to use unit price multiple 1 minus discount. What we need to remember is right here, if we want to just call a column, we need to use the brackets to cite the column like this. We need to insert the column name within the brackets. So the formula is like this: equal unit price times 1 minus discount. We just press tab. So right here we have computed all the net price for different items. And after we add in a new column which is called net price, I have an additional task for everyone, which is to just adding an additional column which is called net sale. The formula to compute net sale is very easy, which we can just use net price on this one times quantity. So the net sale equals net price times quantity. I want you to add this additional column. So so this is also a quiz task. I will provide a link to a Google form, and I have a question for as a quiz. Right here, if you just finish the computing for the new column which is called net sale, I want you to provide the data of the new created column which is called net sale. The net sale data for row 14. I want you to provide the data right here. Okay, so this is a quiz task, which is worth 1 point, 1 extra TA point for this quiz. I want you to provide the data for net sale at row 14. Okay, so which is the data for Quebec, Montreal, federal shipping. And the date is July 7th, 2013. I want you to provide this data and answer the question in the provided Google form. Okay. Next, we would like to apply sorting and filters to our Excel table. And for example, we just need to select the records related to Gemini and, for net sale between $200 and $500. This selection should be sorted by product name. Okay. It's very easy to apply sorting and filters. We can just click ship country arrow and deselect all items like this. Select click the ship country and deselect all. And then we can just select Germany. Okay, we just deselect all and select Germany. And then we go to, sorry, the column for net sale. We would like to select the data which is between $200 and $500. So we click this one, and we can use number filters and use this function which is called between, and we can choose is greater than or equal to 200, and then it's less than or equal to 500, and click OK. So right now we have choose the data which is between $200 and $500. And finally, we can just click the product name arrow, sort from A to Z. Right here, just click on the product name and click sort from A to D. Okay, so I think right here we have finished the sorting and the filters for our example, which is to select the records related to Gemini for net sale between $200 and $500. This selection should be sorted by product name from A to Z. Okay, so we also have a student test for everyone to complete, which is to change the filter so that the only dates in the second quarter of 2013 are displayed. In addition, filter only information that has a quantity greater than 20, sorted by ship city and the shipper name. Okay, so this is your task to complete. Your task is to changing filters and sortings. And this is the solution for our task. First is to change the filter so that only dates in the second quarter of 2013 are displayed. So what we mean is just we need to fill the order date, which is between some area. Okay, so and next is to filter only information that has quantity greater than 20. I think this will be not so difficult. We also use number filters, which is we can also use between or something like this. And we need to sort it by ship city and shipper name. I think it's very easy to apply this. Okay, so I think this is all for today's recitation. And during this recitation, we have two parts. The first is to introduce the pivot tables, and second is to introduce the Excel tables. Excel tables is used for the processing, filtering, and some other functions for large scale data sets. We can just apply the sorting, formatting, and the filters for the datasets. Okay, so let's come to our attendance question. And the attendance question for recitation 12 is, what is Weizhi's favorite drink? Let me repeat once again. The question is, what is Weizhi's, your TA's favorite drink? The answer to that is cola. Repeat once again. The answer to the question is cola. COLA. Okay. So I think this is all for today's recitation. See you next week. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to send me emails. But during these critical times, it's not so easy to reply to all of you very, very quickly. Give me some time and patience. Thank you for that. Bye.